Hey, I'm Alan Brito. I'm an architect and I try to use as much as possible open source solutions for my projects. And as you can imagine, one of the most popular options in this field is Blender. And whenever I have the opportunity to make a presentation or to explain to fellow architects or to a company that they should be using Blender to create or to help with their designs, one of the first questions that I get is how to migrate or how to import AutoCAD designs to Blender. What if this company has a massive backlog of AutoCAD files? How you should be importing, or if there is a way to import that into Blender. Let me show you in this tutorial two paths. One which is quite easy and the other one which will require a middleware, but it's a free middleware that will help you send basically any AutoCAD file to Blender. Now let's start with the easiest option, which is in case you have access to AutoCAD. If you have access to AutoCAD, your life will be a lot easier. Everything that you need to do here is to go into your application menu, go into Save As, and here under the file types, you just have to save this file as a DXF. That's it. Blender do not support importing directly DWG files. You have to convert it into a DXF. A long time ago, a really long time ago, someone tried to create an add-on, an extension for Blender that supported importing DWG files, but the libraries that this person used back in the day, they are not available anymore. I even wrote about it in Blender 3D Architect. You can see here the article. You can see here that back in the day, we had an option to import DWG files directly to Blender. But as you can imagine, this is quite old. This is the date of the article, it's 2009. It was a really long time ago. And for those of you new to Blender, this is how Blender used to look like. This is the user interface for Blender 2.4, if I'm not mistaken. It matches with the time frame. Now, this is what you have to do in case you have access to AutoCAD. Just need to save your file as a DXF. And you will be able to import that into Blender. Now, let's move to Blender. And here we are in Blender. How can I import DXF files from AutoCAD here in Blender? If you go into the file, import, you won't see any option here to import AutoCAD files. That's because it's an add-on. You have to enable the add-on to be able to use it. To enable the add-on, you have to go into the Edit, Preferences, and under here, Get Extensions, you will have to search for AutoCAD. And you will get two options. One of them will give you a way to import, and the other one will give you a way to export AutoCAD files. So for us, I will install the option to import AutoCAD files. Once you do that, you have to go to the file again. Let me zoom out, import, and you will see an option here to import AutoCAD DXF files. It's that easy, as long as you have the DXF file. But there is a problem. What if someone sends you a DWG file and you don't have access to AutoCAD? In this case, we will need a freeware to make this conversion. Let me show you what is this freeware. And it's this software right here, ODA File Converter. This is their website. It's part of the Open Design Alliance. That's what ODA means. It's not open source. It's a freeware. You don't have to sign up or give your email or anything. Just come here and pick one of the versions. You have an option to install it for Linux, Mac, and Windows. Just choose one of the download options and install it on your system. And it's a incredibly simple software. Let me show you how it works. I have the auto file converter right here, and as I said, it's incredibly simple. You just need to learn two basic principles about the auto file converter to use it to convert your DWG files to DXF and be able to import them into Blender. First thing is that you can't point to a single file here in an auto file converter. It will always work in batch mode. For instance, we have here an input folder and an output folder. You have to select them. You can use this buttons here with these three dots, and you also need to select a filter. You can, for instance, say that I want to just convert or manage DWG files inside the input folder. The second thing is that you need to choose or pick an output version for your files. In my case, I'm using AutoCAD DXF 2013. This is the version that I will be converting for any files, any DWG files inside this input folder. Let me show you how it works. I will zoom out here. Let me put all the file converter to the side and let me bring those two folders. And let me bring the output folder and the input folder. As you can see here, I do have a DWG file in this folder, and I already have a DXF, but from a different project. This is actually that project that I had opened in AutoCAD. Now, if I choose here or press the start button in Auto File Converter, it will process and it will convert this DWG file here, and it will create a DXF. That's it. This is as simple as this is a really simple process. You just need to press the start button to convert your files. Well, now let's take a look on how to import these two files into Blender. And here in Blender, let me erase everything that we won't be needing. If I go to the file, import, and choose AutoCAD DXF. And here we have the two files. Let me choose the floor plan. That's the same file that I had opened in AutoCAD. If I hit the import DXF, you will probably don't see anything, but if you look here on the side in the Blender outliner, you will see that we got everything. We have all of the layers here, all of the objects, but you can't really see anything on your scene. That's because it's probably really far away from the origin. So my suggestion here is to set your view to the top, 7 from your numeric keyboard, and press the home key, and it will resize or readjust your view. Just to give you an idea, it's really far away from the origin. But from this point forward, you can start editing your project or creating your 3D models using this this file that came straight from AutoCAD. And this is it. This is how you can import any AutoCAD file into Blender. The secret is to convert it into a DXF. If you have access to AutoCAD, you can just save as, but if you don't have access to AutoCAD, you can easily use the Auto File Converter. Again, links in the description in case you want to download this file. And by the way, I'm using Blender 5.0. It works the same way for a Blender 5.0, which is the latest version, the most up-to-date version of Blender by the time I'm recording this tutorial. I hope you liked this tutorial, and in case you want to start using Blender for architecture, engineering, design, 3D printing, I have this workshop here where I explain step by step how to use Blender as a CAD tool. I'll leave links in the description. It will support my work here in Blender 3D Architect. And I will also leave links for my latest books about Blender. This one here is for Blender 4.5, where I explain how to start with Blender for 3D modeling, focusing on add-ons only. And for beginners, I also have this one here, right here, Learn Blender 4.4, which I will soon update to Blender 5.0. And for AutoCAD, I have this step-by-step guide about AutoCAD. So links in the description. It will support my work here in Blender 3D Architect. If you want to support my work here for free, just subscribe to the channel. It will help me a lot. See you next time. Bye.